Alright, welcome guys. This is waivers after week 1. Obviously, Cadillac Williams is a pickup this week. As long as Steven Jackson is out, Williams is a good start. He carried 19 times, 91 yards. He was also thrown to 9 times, picked up another 49 yards. And I'll tell you what, Steven Jackson got the touchdown, so it's not like the Rams aren't going to be in the end zone. As long as Steven Jackson can't go, Cadillac Williams is a good start. Also, you got Darren Sproles. Now, you know, this guy's not a starter. He's obviously not going to be a number 2 running back. But, you know, in leagues where points per receptions are counted, not in mine, but he's going to be a good player there. He returns kickoffs, so, you know, he returns kickoffs, so leagues score for that. He gets a lot of balls. He was thrown to 9 times. Okay, picked up 75 yards in the air. He picked up only 2 carries, but you know what? He got 4 yards each time, which is a pretty decent carry. So you know, Darren Sproles is on the waiver wire in a lot of leagues. If you're struggling for a back, especially like a third back or like a flex position, or if you're in a PPR league, Darren Sproles is on waivers. Another guy that's similar like that, Ernest Graham. You know, he was also targeted 9 times out of the backfield. The most thrown to running back Sunday was Reggie Bush, thrown to 10 times, caught 9 passes, okay? So these guys over here, who are definitely not household names, they're getting thrown to as many times as a player like Reggie Bush, who's obviously a player that's of quality in the Miami offense. All right? The next guy, somebody to look out for. Somebody not to start right now, but you know what? In 2 to 3 weeks, you never know. You got Marcel Reese from Oakland. You know, he was an explosive player. He didn't do a whole lot in that game, but I'll tell you what. He ran the ball 1 time, picked up 11 yards, all right? He also caught his touchdown pass, thrown to 3 times. But you know what? When he got the ball, he was exciting. And I'll tell you what, he's a fullback, so he's going to be on the field. They're going to find more ways to give this kid the ball. And I'll tell you what else. What looks good for him is with McFadden and Bush ahead of him, those guys get hurt. And when those guys get hurt, he's going to play. And when he plays a lot, he's going to have a decent game. Later down the road, week 4, week 5, if one of these other guys go down, McFadden or Bush go down, Reese is a good play. You know, he isn't now, but he will be a good play. Wide receivers. There were a few guys Sunday that had decent games in the air. These guys are on waiver wire. Are these guys ever fantasy people? No, they have never been. But you know what? It's a new year. People are more experienced. You never know who's going to step up. You got Early Doucette in Arizona. He's a starting receiver opposite Larry Fitzgerald, and as long as Fitzgerald's going to have double coverage, which he will all the time, you know, Doucette, if he proves himself, then he's going to get the ball a lot. Sunday he was thrown to 3 times. But you know what? It was 100 yards and a touchdown. If the guy's going to give you games like that, if he's going to give you that kind of production, then you know what? He's going to get more throws, especially when Fitzgerald's drawing coverage like that. Avery Henderson. You know, Lance Moore's a little banged up. Henderson never really was worth a fantasy value, but you know, here's another one. He got thrown to 9 times. The leading receiver was thrown to 13 times. There was only about 12 guys that was thrown to more than 10 times. Here you have Avery Henderson, who's not the starter, and he's thrown at 9 times in the game. 100 yards, got a touchdown. As long as New Orleans is banged up, you know, as far as Colston and Lance Moore, if they're a little banged up, you know, Henderson's always going to be a decent play. All right, you got Doug Baldwin in Seattle. He was thrown to 6 times, caught a touchdown. There's a lot of room to be the man in Seattle. And if Baldwin wants it and he can step up and get it, you know what? These guys may be somebody someday. Brian Hartline in Miami. He was also thrown to 7 times, half of what the leader was thrown to in the NFL. Hartline, I also believe, got a touchdown. Picked up 47 yards and a touchdown. There's guys on your bench that aren't good, and there's guys on your bench that you'll never use. Any of these guys are better replacements for those guys. And you know what? You never know who's going to step up and become the man. One other guy I like is Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a bad game. You know what? Put that one in the books. Antonio Brown was thrown to 9 times. The leading throw, Mike Wallace, I think, was thrown to 11 times. But you got a guy who's basically got no name, basically wasn't there last year, and you throw him the ball 9 times. The kid is good. The kid runs out of the slot. He's fast. He's very fast. He's going to have a better play than what he gave you Sunday. He's an excellent flex receiver. He's an excellent third receiver. You know, in leagues where you go 3 receivers, you're talking about 10 teams, you're talking about 30 receivers in play every Sunday. You know, there's no reason why Antonio Brown can't fit into that spot anywhere in the leagues.